Welcome to this week's Game of Thrones discussion. I'm Joel Henderson. With me, as always, on this podcast, Jeremy Vasaitis.
Hello, people.
We are here today to discuss... Do you know the episode name? Fuck, I do this every time now.
Every time. It's become a weekly
Oh,
thing.
yeah, it was...
Oathkeeper.
There you go. Okay, so Oathkeeper.
Season 4, Episode 4, Oathkeeper.
Season 4, Episode 4. Damn, it doesn't feel like these episodes... It seems like the seasons are too short.
Only
but
6
it also,
more episodes left.
It also feels like they're not even 10 episodes. Am I wrong on feeling that way? Like, it doesn't feel like it's 10 episodes each time.
They need to... they took some huge strides in the beginning, it feels like, but now this feels like they're trying to slow down a little bit.
They're in that middle of the season pace already, which kills me.
It kills me because it happens really fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about to be... We're going to see Episode 5 next week. That's mid-season.
You know, this is something that happens in a lot of shows that I've noticed. They seem to have a creative peak at the beginning and end of a season, and I really wonder what that's about. Do you think that that's because they're just saving all the good shit? Or do you think... I don't know. Like, I feel like...
I think it's just become like a staple in television to, start your season and end your season with a bang. Basically, whatever show it might be. You start with something really cool and end with something really cool,
I just throw one in the middle, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there's not going to be great episodes, because I'm sure there will be very soon.
Dude, I think next week's is going to be a...
I thought this was good.
I thought it was really good, too.
How do you rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 5?
1 to 5?
I don't fucking know. I'm just trying to be arbitrary here. You got a better rating system?
I don't
out
know.
Of how many stars
4?
out of 13?
12.
Now, that's closer than 4 out of 5.
It is. Or is it?
Or...
We don't know Matt that well. Let's not get into this.
Yeah, I would say this was... a lot of information came out in this episode, for sure.
My next description was very informative.
Yeah, it's been quite informative. This season's going...
We found out definitely who was behind the Joffrey assassination.
We absolutely did. We found out lots of things, I feel like.
So let's start your recap.
Okay, here we go with my recap. Grey Worm is learning how to read. He asked...
Or speak English.
Yeah, what's the...
I don't know her name.
He was learning how to... He was learning how to speak English, not read?
I thought that's what I took from it. She was teaching him
okay,
how
well,
to
that
speak
makes more
English.
sense.
Well, I mean, I guess it goes hand in hand. I mean, learning how to read.
It looked like he was looking down, reading it off of something as opposed to phonetically sounding it out.
I don't think they have to be mutually exclusive.
Okay. So, what's that girl's name?
I don't know.
Okay, good.
I call her the interpreter.
Okay.
Because she's the one who always
They said her name at the end of the scene.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah. I mean, I did, but I forgot it instantly. There's too many fucked up names.
All right, we'll have her name for you next week.
We'll attempt to have the name for you next week.
In our corrections section. There we go.
Okay.
Somebody throw that in for us. Give us a name.
So he's asked the girl teaching him if she remembers her home, and she says that she vaguely recalls the whiteness of the beaches and how tall the trees were as she was leaving shore. So not really the home, but more of the the act of departing what you once knew. That's what she recalls. She doesn't even remember.
I think it was
her home.
She was saying it as a child's memory. It's very vague and
but that's
she just remembers the burning, remembers the smoke rising into the sky. Like that was,
Well, the implication I think is that she was saying, don't you want to go home? Do you remember what home was? Where are you from? Kind of thing to him, and eventually he does just come right out and say, I don't have any plans to go home.
Kill the Masters.
Yeah, kill the Masters. Which plays off later, but that was a good. I don't know.
I thought it was a nice scene.
I like the way she kind of tried to feel for him and try to pull it out of him rather than just go.
But when he reached up for her hand a little bit, she pulled away right away, from him. Like if you notice, if you seen, it was a really quick thing. Like
damn it, I gotta watch it a third time.
Yeah, seriously.
Fuck.
Like he when he was talking to her, when it panned out and showed them both. He kind of put his hand up on the table towards her hand. He didn't touch her, but put his hand towards her hand, and she put her hand off the table right away.
Kind of to feel him out and feel her out.
Yeah, I think it's maybe what he was trying to do, but I like Grey Worm. He's a pretty cool character.
So she asked him if he remembers before he was a soldier, and he said he was always unsullied.
Nothing before unsullied.
Yeah, nothing before unsullied. The accent strikes me as a bit I don't know. For some reason, it feels a little fake. It feels a little forced. That like he's sounding dumber than he is. Like I don't buy for a second that he's really that slow. Oh, it's just that he's speaking English.
I think he's speaking in a different tongue. No, he's definitely not stupid.
Okay, yeah, I didn't get the impression at all that he was stupid, but it sounded like they were trying to make him sound dumb, like Grey Worm, caveman. Grey Worm, say thing.
I think it was just like I think you're supposed to take from that like it's the translation.
Okay.
The different. What do you call them?
Are we to take that
there's like that?
Well, because he was teaching her English in this one, we're meant to believe that he's learning to speak English.
She was teaching him
because at some point in the past on this show,
they don't call it English; it's called the common tongue.
But in the past on this show, haven't they done that? Or no, that was Lost. Fuck, I really thought this was Game of Thrones. The episode where they show that they're talking with Mother on Lost, where they're talking about things in that old tongue, and then they just start talking in English. Like it was subtitled before, like it was showing you. I thought that was this show. Sorry, my bad. I thought somewhere along the way they would be speaking a subtitled thing and then it would just cut to the English version of it and we were to take that they were really speaking their native tongues.
No,
but for sake of watching, they were presenting it in English.
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I think they mean to speak when they mean in the show. They speak the foreign languages when they need to speak.
Okay,
them. Like with that whole speech she gave in one of the episodes, the whole thing was in like old Valyrian.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, and they subtitled that. Yeah. So yeah, okay. I don't know why I had that crossed for some reason.
I know what you're talking about. Though.
Yeah. So let's see. Right before Mother Dragons. Right before Khaleesi comes in and asks how the lessons are going, and they will have to continue later because it's time.
And that plan is revealed to us in the next following scenes.
Yeah, we see the slaves climbing over a wall, then going through some underground caverns with torches.
No, we see Unsullied dressed as slaves, is what we see. That was Grey Worm and the Unsullied, disguised as slaves, wearing slave collars and disguised as slaves.
So they were sneaking in to have that conversation in the room.
With the rest of the real slaves. That's why they were dressed like that, and they give them all weapons.
I had a hard time. For some reason, like I said, I was watching this on my phone the second time while driving. So it was really dark, and I noticed that it was noticeably more dark than watching it on the TV, and I don't remember it being so blue.
The action that Joel just confessed to performing is not condoned by this podcast.
Well, no shit. Obviously not. I had to go in for my hearing test, so I had to drive an hour. So I'm like, perfect. I got an hour. Right. Still didn't fucking finish it. Because I keep jumping between apps every 2 seconds to write down this fucking recap. So we see them climbing over the wall and then going through some underground caverns with torches. They have a meeting to discuss Khaleesi's intentions, is what it felt like.
They were informing the slaves, basically, of your freedom is yours. You need to take it. And they gave him a bunch of weapons.
He hadn't even come in yet. They were just they were talking about it, weren't they? Weren't just the slaves already?
Oh, that's what you meant. I'm sorry. Yeah, they were talking about
what Khaleesi
had done, right?
Yeah, and if they should trust her or go along with her, and then they start talking about well, do you want to die for this? And then that's when Grey Worm popped in and said something to the effect of,
one day in freedom is better than a lifetime in chains,
or is worth a lifetime in chains, or something like that. Like it was, yeah. So even if you just get it for one fucking day, it would totally be worth it, even if you die the next day.
One day of freedom.
Oh, it's better than a lifetime in chains.
Right. That's what it was. Freedom is better than a lifetime in chains.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Right. Then they basically go,
he leads in the room with Valar Morghulis.
Yeah, exactly. I had that on here. I said, let's see.
All men must die.
Where the fuck did I put that? I know I put that in there.
That's how he interrupts the conversation.
Yeah, because he walked in and said the catchphrase from season 2. Yeah. As they're discussing the previous 2 slave rebellions, somebody comes in and utters the tagline for this season, which means all men must die. That was Grey Worm. Again, I was having a hard time seeing it in the car. He explains how one day of freedom is worth life and blah, blah.
And they all take their bags off their back with their weapons.
They say, well, look, you're Unsullied. You're a trained soldier. We're nothing. We've been slaves our whole lives.
They taught you to fight before you could walk.
Yeah, you got weapons. We got no weapons. We got no training. So they just, you hear this clanking of metal.
Grey Worm also points out the fact there's 3 slaves for every 1 master in this city.
Well, that was once
he gave them yours.
Yeah,
take it.
Yeah, they drop a shit ton of weapons,
a bunch of swords on the ground. Right.
Yeah,
and I think that I'm pretty sure that they led them to take over the city.
What do you mean? That Grey Worm and them did?
Yeah.
Probably.
But those
yeah,
few led the groups of slaves out to
teach, kind of show them how to do it. Right.
And then took over the city. Look, I mean, because they all converged on the one guy like that.
Well, that's great.
Did you notice what he looked up at, though? Because I heard a couple of people talking about how hard it was for them to see
what he looked up at?
What he looked up at from the alleyway.
Yeah, I had that down here as something to question because I didn't quite know what it was.
But did you catch later on what it was?
I think so. Yeah,
it was the Targaryen flag draped over that sphinx or harpy that is perched at the top of that pyramid.
Okay, so
it was her flag.
I saw it behind Daenerys at the end.
Yeah, that was the Targaryen flag.
Okay.
Her Targaryen logo on the black flag draped over that harpy. Basically saying the city is mine.
See, for some reason, I just forgot that they were in the same place. So yeah, that was what we saw literally at the end of the episode. It wasn't
or the end of that section.
Their segment. So right. Let's see.
But that
a master is walking through the alleyways. We see the kill the guards. That was the important thing.
Kill the masters.
Kill the masters. And the thing that struck me is when they all came at him, there were like 150 dudes with swords. How do they not stab each other on accident?
How does somebody not cut somebody?
Yeah,
right?
They're all going in. Like, where are you stabbing? What are you doing? They got it covered. He doesn't have a sword. They all do.
Right.
You don't have to reach in 4 guys back. Right. I'm just saying.
Right. You're getting me in the shoulder.
Yeah, that's my fucking rib.
Dude, we're on the same side.
Ribbing me. Ow. Fuck. So yeah, and then I had that he looked up there. He was looking up at the tower. I wasn't sure what it was, and then we figured out that was Targaryen's flag. Right. She is walking through through as
but
broken
now you forget
collars.
To mention when they go up to her. Or no, that's afterwards. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I literally scene by scene, I would go back to this thing and pop it in.
Her walking down over the slave collars.
Yeah, and they're tossed at her feet as she is called Misa, which is a recurring thing. We've seen that before. Yeah, we saw that. Mother. Yeah, what was that in? That was at the end of season 3.
That was the season 3 finale title. It was called Misa.
Okay, and then she asked how many of the children were nailed to the mile markers, and the older guy, what's the older guy's name?
Sir Barristan.
Okay, Sir Barristan says 163, and then he tells her that the city is now hers and suggests that she use mercy in the face of injustice. She says she will use justice to face injustice.
But do you know why he would mention that?
Why?
Because he was the head of the Kingsguard during the fall of King's Landing and all that.
Oh, because he's thinking that she's going to repeat some of their mistakes.
You know what? He wasn't in King's Landing, but he saw the Mad King. He was,
and that was her relative.
That was her father.
Is it?
Yes.
It seems like it happened they make it seem like it happened forever ago, but Jamie had to do it.
Well, it's probably a couple years past from when that happened, but from when Robert was alive in the season 1, it had been 17 years. Since Robert's rebellion. Robert had been on the throne for 17 years.
Oh, I thought you were saying it had been 17 years since then. I was going to say, fuck, that doesn't make any sense.
I think it's been 3 or 4 years since season 1.
Okay.
Like we've witnessed like 3 or 4 years of a time span.
Okay.
So far.
Well, right after he gives that, or she says badassedly, I will use justice to face injustice. Like she just fucking knew that that's the right thing to do or whatever.
I mean, this was a discussion too. Like I can't disagree with her, dude. Come on, man. Those people have been torturing kids and nailing kids to crosses for how long now?
Yeah. So that's where this one goes.
Like who says the 163? That wasn't the first 163 they had nailed up the crosses.
You know
what I'm saying? That was just what she had seen.
Are they really going to waste those? Are they really going to build those crosses and then use them once? I mean, come on, that's wasteful.
Seriously,
don't be ridiculous. They don't sell them at Home Depot,
right?
Fuck, you got to build those individually every time. That's a lot of chopping. So 163 of those fuckers get nailed to posts, just like the kids.
And then the screaming and throughout the city, rings throughout the city, and it pans to her.
Yeah, we see her looking proud at her accomplishments, looking down at the city.
Standing below the Targaryen flag.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's just marking her territory, so to speak. It's all like cats.
How does she feed all these people?
Well, she has some people that could go do the things she needs, hunting.
The masters are like, what I thought of was they're rich. So that the slaves would just kind of like divvy up.
Oh, what was
evenly
left over?
Take the masters and divvy up what was left.
The vibe I get is that as much as Daenerys doesn't say she's in charge. I mean, she says she's in charge, but she doesn't say she rules them. You know what I mean? She tries to skirt that line between emperor or king or whatever you want to call it and mother. She's trying to skirt that. She's the ruler for sure, but I don't think she wants to be seen as a king or a queen.
These people are following her by choice.
Yeah.
That's the big difference between her and the people.
So she's trying to make that distinction. So
I said that a long time ago. That was like one of her biggest differences between her and the people in King's Landing.
Yeah.
All of her people are following her
by choice, and the others are doing it out of fear.
Out of fear or out of out of some sort of family heirloom or family legacy, obligation or right.
But I think as much as she doesn't want to be that, I think she is that still. I think she has to be.
Her blood.
She has to be the one that's in charge of all that shit. I bet you she ended up with all the money, and then they would still take care of all the people. I don't think she's going to be selfish with any of it, but I don't think she's going to just let them divvy things up. And I don't think they will want to. I think they'll trust her to take care of everything for them.
Okay.
It feels like it with how many are already there.
I see that, but I don't know. I think she would delegate that stuff. Like she would let them rule themselves. That's what freedom is.
Yeah,
she's giving them freedom.
So she's just telling them where to go.
Freedom wouldn't be like her delegating my food. Freedom would be me. I'll be able to take what
You got basically the commoners figuring their shit out, handling their own shit, and her taking care of the big picture. Like, okay, basically. we're moving 7 lands
just like,
that way.
Like when she got her Unsullied, she had them decide their leader. That's where Grey Room came from.
Yeah,
she told them to pick a leader, and however they did it, they did it.
So it's
and
just
ended up with Grey Worm.
So I think he's middle management, though. Let's be honest.
Well, he's the leader of the Unsullied. I would call him more than
she could outrule him. I was just making a joke, making light of their position. There's corporate. She's corporate.
And
he's regional. He's the regional manager.
That's a good description.
Yeah.
And he's got that. And then the other regional manager is the Dahario.
The one that wants her. The one that's changes. Why didn't they just make him a fucking shapeshifter? It would have explained his goddamn character change a little better. Jesus. It would have exchanged the change of actor.
How do we know that that's not necessarily...
If they should have explained
that. Maybe they haven't revealed it yet.
I don't think that's a great reveal, to be honest. And here's why. That would have been a great reveal if he pretended to be somebody else. And then he was like, oh, gotcha. Guess what? It was just me. You know what I mean? But by him going, it's me the whole time, it kills the whole bit, basically. There would be no gain to pretending to be somebody else, but pretending to be yourself. Like if I looked like you and I'm like, no, I'm Joel, though. For real, I'm Joel. That doesn't do anything. But if I pretend to be you...
Yeah, I guess he would have no reason to have changed the way his appearance like that.
We can hope that they do that to make up for the ridiculous leap in logic and lack of caring about continuity. Put a goddamn wig on the guy and dye his hair blonde. Is that fucking hard?
We've really said this on every podcast.
I know, but goddamn it. There's some things that need to be fucking hammered home, and that's one of them.
Yeah, they definitely should have found a guy that at least looked like the other guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
so we cut to Bronn and Jaime sword training. During the sword fight, Bronn backs Jaime into a corner and grabs his gold hand and smacks him in the face with it. Bronn basically insults Jaime as Jaime was calling Bran a dirty fighter, and he implies that the sword went through the king's back pretty easily. Do you want to fight pretty or do you want to be effective? And Jaime asks if he always talks to his brother like that, and Bronn says, yeah, he got used to it eventually.
Right.
He asks if Jaime asks if Bronn thinks that Tyrion did it, and he said no. He hated the little twat, but who didn't?
But and murder, like he just kind of insinuated that murder really wasn't Tyrion's thing. Like just having people killed and doing things like that's not really his game. That's not the game that Tyrion plays. He's not a murderer like that.
Yeah.
Unless absolutely necessary. Like the one time we've seen him kill a couple of people, his life was absolutely in danger.
Yeah.
Like he killed the guy with the shovel in with the shield in season 1 because he was going to get killed if he didn't, And then at the Battle of Blackwater.
Yep.
He killed the guy. He was in the middle of a fucking battle.
Fair enough.
The other battle we saw him, he got fucking hit with the hammer and knocked the fuck out. Remember? And he didn't even participate in that one.
Correct. Let's see. Bronn says that if he wants to know for sure, he should ask him. Then he realizes that Jaime has not been to see him yet. And Jaime says, we're done for the day. And that he tells Jaime that Tyrion chose Jaime as his champion, but the lady made the trial happen that day, which is when Bronn stepped in. And he chose you because he knew you would ride day and night to come fight for him. Are you going to fight for him now? It just seemed very... I mean, it's great. It makes total sense.
Good stuff, but yeah.
It seemed a bit cheesy for Bronn.
For Bronn, it did. It did a little
He didn't
bit.
say it cheesy, though. I made it sound cheesier than it was, for sure. He said it in a way that sounded believable, but it was like, okay, yeah. Will you be my champion? Will you be my champion today?
I think then we went immediately to that scene, didn't we?
Yeah, then we go to, let's see. Jaime is now visiting Tyrion. Yeah, they jokingly discuss the difference between their two imprisonments, and T asks if that's supposed to make him feel better.
4 walls.
Yeah.
A pot to piss in.
Yeah, he's like, I had to sit in my own shit for 3 months.
Right.
Which, can you imagine the chafing? Can you imagine the unbearable, even if you could move, that's where it's bullshit when he tries to escape, because there's no way he's roundhouse kicking anybody with a cake full of ass, an ass caked full of shit. You know what I mean? That would be so painful. If you barely don't wipe all the way, that shit hurts all day.
Dude, feces begins to burn the human skin within 10 minutes.
Yes. 3 months. Get the fuck out of here.
Dude.
Wow, he's tougher than I imagined.
Right.
So, Tyrion explains how the entire world thinks he did it, and
I mean, like, he was cuffed. I don't think he would just shit on himself. He would go in the corner and
he
shit.
said that
Probably
he was
couldn't go over-
chained to the post. He couldn't move. That's what Jaime was saying. He was sitting in his own shit. What else could he do? You'd think eventually they'd let him change, or because they'd be sick of the stench of him.
Stench of him. That's why they stuck him off to the side.
So after Tyrion says how he thinks the rest of the world did it, or and how Cersei is just looking for a way for it to not even go to trial, and Jaime mentions that, well, she did ask me to kill you, basically. And Tyrion asks if he should turn around, and Jaime says, well, it depends. Did she do it? And Tyrion asks if he's really asking if it would kill his son, and Jaime says, are you really asking if I'd kill my brother? Sweet, touching, yeah.
Yeah.
Then he asks what he can do to help, and he says, break me out of here. And Jaime says that he can't do that because he's a member of the King's Guard, and it would be inappropriate, and Tyrion calls on him on doing things that are inappropriate.
Right.
Then he discusses how the trial will be a farce, and even if the killer confessed, Cersei would not rest until she had his head on a pike, and Sansa's. Jaime says and Sansa's.
Right.
And Jaime explains how his wife disappeared from the city the same day that Joffrey died, Joff. And
Same day that
Tyrion,
Joff died.
yeah, and he's basically insinuating, well, then she had some part in it, and Tyrion is saying, yeah, and he says there's no way, she's not a killer. Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. Switch to
Sansa. And
I'm sorry. Did you have something else on that?
no, just that I thought it was sweet the way that, well, it comes to roost in the next scene,
Right.
that they're basically, whether they know it or not, they're falling for each other in a way.
Tyrion and Sansa.
Yeah. Not falling for each other. Maybe not love, but enough that
mutual
they
respect,
care about
and
each other.
she knows that he's not an evil fuck like the rest of them.
Yes, I think she's coming around on him more than she wants to admit I think it's merely because of all the other schmucks that she comes across. I mean, look who she's got to deal with, Littlefinger.
Well, now this guy. Well, yeah.
And I mean, he's fucking awesome. I mean, he is pretty badass. He killed fucking Joff.
Dude, he took out the king.
Fuck.
Dude, it's with a little help. But
So
we'll get to that.
Sansa asked Littlefinger if he killed Joffrey, to which or no.
She asked him. She does.
Oh yeah,
she
yeah.
asked him
She
flat
asked
out
if he did it, and to which he replies, he wasn't even there. So who else could have been involved in this conspiracy? She then says Sir Dantos is too much of a drunk for him to trust, and he implies that it could have been her husband. She says no, and he asks how she knows, and she says she just does.
I just know.
Said that this implies to me that their bond is growing, even though she doesn't know it. Littlefinger tells her that she is correct, but the thing she doesn't know is that she was involved in the murder. Dantos gave her a necklace that had a poisoned stone in it. I still don't quite get the sequence of events, but she asks why, and he says because basically they would never see it coming.
I was going over it in my head too, like how
would a
she
stone
was wearing
matter?
it around her neck. Well, unless it was like.
But she would have had to be involved. No, Marjorie was. Wasn't it Marge? Or no, it was.
No, Sansa was
It was
wearing that
Sansa's.
necklace.
That's right, because he crushed the thing and threw it overboard onto Dantos.
Or maybe he was missing the stone when he gave it to her.
I'm sorry. I'm writing something down right now. Just keep talking for a second.
Okay. Well, like Sir Dantos that necklace was missing the stone or whatever. It was full of a vial of poison or whatever it might be that he somehow worked into the thing. But there was other people involved, and I don't think Marjorie was involved.
No, she didn't know.
No.
Well, there was definitely other people involved.
Did you did not get that from the next scene?
Yeah, I did. Marjorie was not involved.
No, but I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who killed her or who killed Joffrey.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Shit, I just accidentally scrolled.
They go back and forth.
Yeah, Dantos gave her. Let's see.
She tries. Sansa basically going over. She's trying to work out.
Oh, she asked why. She says why, and he says because basically they would never see it coming. The man with no motive is the least suspicious, and if they don't know what your intentions are, they never know what you're going to do next. She asks why he would risk that. He says so many men risk their lives for fear of death, and he says he would risk everything to get what he wants. And she asks what that is, and he says everything.
He said, I would risk everything to get what I want.
Yeah.
And then she said, what do you want?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah. So his affiliation with the Lannisters was beneficial until Joff became unreliable. She asked why anybody would trust him, and he says, I don't want friends like me, and that his new friends would be trustworthy and predictable. Joff's death was something his new friends wanted very badly. Cut to the Tyrells with a little voiceover, just to hammer that point home. They're like, we're not sure if the audience is going to quite pick up that that's who it is, so we're going to let them be walking while he finishes his sentence.
I think it was like kind of like solidifying it, like to making sure that the audience knew exactly what happened. I tell you what, I was a little taken back. I didn't know it was grandma like that, and she just flat out admitted it in this next scene.
Yeah. Grandma Tyrell is explaining to her that she will be leaving and asks if Marjorie has gone to see Tommen yet. She explains to her that if she gets to Tommen before Cersei does, then it won't matter what she wants, it will only matter what Tommen wants. And that she was supposed to marry her actual husband's brother, but her husband was supposed to marry her sister, so on the way home from an embroidery lesson, she got lost and ended up fucking him to the point that he only wanted her the next day and didn't marry the sister.
Right.
And she tells Marjorie that Tyrion did not kill Joffrey, and Marjorie says, well, you don't know that's true. And the grandma says, oh, I do. And you don't think I was going to let you marry that monster, do you?
That beast.
Grandma Tyrell killed Joff with the Littlefinger's help.
Right. It was the Grandma Tyrell and Littlefinger who was the plot.
I liked her speech about basically being a good little, not whore, but being a good, you know what I mean? Putting on that, what you have to do to be the wife, be awesome at everything that you got to do to make him fall for you. And she goes, and you're much better than I was. She goes, I was good. I was great. But you're better than that. Better. Yeah, you're much better. So then we cut to the wall. Jon Snow is teaching them how to fight, even though it's not his job.
Which is clearly laid out to him.
Yeah.
Douchebag.
He shoots down the kid's hopes to fight. Then has two men try and disarm the other before getting yelled at for overstepping his bounds. Do you know the old guy's name? I don't.
It's on the tip of my tongue, but I couldn't. No, I don't know it.
Well, anyways, the old guy calls him traitorous and Ygritte a bitch. Jon Snow gets all up in his face and then walks away.
He says basically, give me the chance. Give me the chance to fucking cut your head off.
And now this is
striking me or something.
Yeah, this is the best because I don't know either of them. So Guy tells old guy that was yelling at Snow, the bastard is well liked. You're not. He's basically telling him if you don't play this political game here and watch how you're stepping, they're going to elect Jon Snow any second.
Do you know who that guy is?
I can't remember everybody.
He was the King's Guard who turned on Ned Stark.
Okay.
He was supposed to have Ned Stark's back when he went into the throne room to take Cersei and them into custody.
Okay.
That guy that was talking, not the guy in charge, with the little bald fuck.
Yeah.
He was the leader of the King's Watch, and then Tyrion sent him to the Night's Watch for killing those kids, remember? Killing all the babies,
yes.
The bastard babies. That's why he's in the Night's Watch now. Tyrion, as the hand of the king, had him sent there.
Okay.
So that's who he is. And then the other guy's been there. He's been one of the leaders.
So, let's see. Jon Snow, blah, blah, blah. Oh, he said the guy doesn't care if he's well-liked because they're at war. And the guy says to reconsider Jon's request to march on Craster's, or when they take a vote, he could be answering to Jon Snow for the rest of his life. Then, walking up to Jon, Locke shows up.
You like that?
Yeah, Locke comes up to Snow and says that he thought he was highborn, and Snow tells him that his father was, but his mother wasn't. Locke ended up there for stealing to feed his kids, and he chose the wall over losing a hand. He figured he wouldn't have to suck up to any highborn cunts around here. Looks over at the guy who was just yelling at Jon Snow and says, I guess I was wrong. And they have a little chuckle.
Right. But even though that guy's there to kill Jon Snow.
Which guy?
Locke.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. He was sent by Bolton.
Okay. So he's just sucking up to him?
He's trying to get close to him. And then keep going. We'll discuss further later
on. Cersei is drinking a lot. And there is a knock on her chamber door, and it is her lover/brother/rapist, Jaime.
I liked her little comment. Did you catch that at the beginning when he walked in the room?
Yeah, she goes, "Oh, so formal," because she goes,
he's your Grace.
Yeah, your Grace.
Right.
So she's being a total cunt about Tommen's guards and how Jaime didn't protect Joff. Cersei asks why Catelyn Stark set Jaime free, and he explains to her that he promised, that she thought he would bring the daughters back, and then she goes, "Well, did you promise to do it?" He goes, "I swore by all the gods, or by the gods, old and new, or whatever."
Right.
So yeah, I mean, of course I did. I said if I could bring them back, I would, or if they were still alive, they'd come back. So Cersei gets to dig in on Brienne, the lady who brought him back.
Called her cow.
Yeah, cow, something like that. Jealous much?
Seriously, right.
She inquires as to Jaime's allegiance to the Starks, and he says that he has none because she is dead. So Cersei says, if I asked you to go and get Sansa right now and kill her, would you? Head on a spike. Says that she knows he went to see Tyrion, and Jaime says that Tyrion did not do it, and she says you always pitied him, and she dismisses him with his formal title. Basically.
Right.
Yeah.
See you later.
I get now why they did the scene last week. The rape scene. That was last week, right?
Yeah.
I get it now. Because think about all the stuff that's going on with Jaime. Everything else makes him a good guy. Everything else he's doing. He's standing up for his brother. He's trying to get somebody to protect Sansa.
Mm-hmm.
Like just all the little things that he's doing, he's being a more noble person than he was before. He's almost redeemed, so he had to be a rapist. Echo, go lay down somewhere, please.
I don't see the connection, but go on.
Well, it's just they had to. No, I'm not saying rape specifically.
But
connects.
No. That's not what I meant. But I was saying why if they're redeeming him, did he have to perform that act?
Because he was becoming too good too quickly. I'm saying his character arc is...
So he had to take a step backwards.
Exactly.
But I think we discussed this last week. Like, he was being redeemed a little bit.
It just became more apparent in this episode.
Right.
That he is a good dude, but he had to... Like, he was confused about that.
But that's why it was her.
Exactly.
And it wasn't... Like, if he would have done it to Brienne, we all hate him.
Exactly. Yeah.
He did it to the biggest cunt on the show.
Exactly. So, let's see.
So, you get what you get, bitch. Yeah, okay.
Marjorie Tyrell visits Tommen and manipulates him into thinking they are going to be married, and basically gave this boy his first hard-on.
First little visit at night, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of funny. I like his line about the cat. When he gets a little snarl about Joff, when we're talking about Joff.
Yeah,
Joff
what did he
said
say?
He'd skin him.
He threatened to skin him alive
and put bits of him in my food, so I didn't know I was eating him.
Yeah. He says that she shouldn't be there, and that if his mother found out, ... She cuts him off and says, "This can be our little secret. If we got married, I hope we will have a few secrets from her." Like, basically, not turning her against Cersei, but turning him against Cersei. I mean,
slowly.
Yeah,
she's got to do it slowly.
She's making herself more important. She's trying to plant the seeds to make herself more important than the mom.
But I mean, I think if there's one thing that we've learned about Cersei.
You
don't fuck with her.
Yeah, she is.
Margie's gonna fuck around and get herself killed.
Probably.
Yeah. She told her flat out, "You ever call me sister again, I'll have you strangled in your sleep." So she finds out this is happening. She's fucking dead.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I don't think Tommen's gonna tell on her, but
I don't think so either. But he could slip. He's a young dude and say something. I mean, that gives her the idea. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I guess. That's
when Sir Pounce jumped up.
Is the name of the cat.
Yeah,
right?
who Joffrey threatened to skin alive, blah, blah. Marjorie says, when we get married, I become yours forever. And you can see Tommen's eyes light up with that thought. She leaves. You know, she didn't... you know what I thought was going to happen? I thought she was going to fuck him. And then I thought, God, he's too young. He looks like he's about 12 or 13.
No, I didn't think she would do it right then because.
Based on the story that Grandma told, that's the only reason I thought maybe she would.
I thought she was gonna maybe not like go full out, but I thought she was about to do something to him.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I thought she'd at least kiss him. She just gave him a kiss on the forehead, which. That's
the
enough
scene
for a
ended a
little
little
boy.
bit more appropriately than we thought we were. Oh, hell yeah, it is, dude. Like, that kid didn't go to sleep that night.
Yeah, right? or he did after some furious hand movements.
Right.
So let's see. Then we go to, I believe this is where my second viewing cut off, Craster's Keep and the drinking out of the skull. Whose skull was he drinking out of?
Jeor Mormont.
Okay.
The Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
Okay, so was that the dude that Snow had to kill?
No, that was the half hand.
Okay.
No, that was the dude with that whose skull that was. Jeor Mormont he was the leader of the Night's Watch when Jon Snow got there.
The one that gave him the sword?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah,
that
old
is
dude,
also
white, short
Jorah.
white hair.
Yes, Jorah's dad.
I don't remember Jorah.
Yes, you do. Jorah is the guy who's been with Khaleesi from the beginning.
Okay.
That's his dad.
Okay, so he dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
And they was drinking out of his skull.
Yes.
It doesn't seem an appropriate cup. I don't know. Maybe it's a bit unrealistic.
Not
unrealistic.
It worked the first time he took a sip, but then he kind of like poured it, and it dripped all down his face. I'm like, why would? I mean, even back then, why would people do that? Nobody would do that. Just pour all this wine down my face. No, come on.
That's a waste of fucking wine.
You're wasting your shit. First of all, like, I mean,
I get that you're like a king.
I mean, he was so fucking hammered, and they were out of their minds.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're blood drunk and.
So, but this is right about the time when they decide to sacrifice a baby, right? Like one of the girls shows.
She walks in with the last son of Craster.
Okay.
The last baby of Craster's.
And
those women.
They were saying basically, what did he do with them? Oh, he got rid of them before they could do the same to him.
Rid of them before they could grow up and kill him.
Yeah.
Right?
So they take the baby, and I mean, I'm summarizing here. They take him and put him out there for the.
Basically, the guy that's in charge, can't think of his name right now, tells the other guy, who is actually the guy that stabbed Mormont in that tent.
Uh-huh.
He calls him like a pussy or whatever, basically. Says, I haven't lost a fight since I was 9.
Yeah.
You know, you think you can beat a 1? Come on. He's like, wouldn't stand a chance. Because he's a backstabber. He stabbed Mormont in the back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so if anything, he's not going to
fighter.
stand up in front and fight that dude like that. He's going to, even if he chose to kill him, or he'd stab him right in the back. Anyway, Jon Snow and them are coming for them next week anyway. So we'll see what happens.
So somebody has to go put the baby out there. Somebody who I felt like didn't want to do it.
Yeah, that was the guy he was talking to.
Yeah, he didn't. He went out there. He put the baby down. He walks away. And then we cut to Bran. And
he goes and goes and sees Ghost. Pours the water in front of you get to see Ghost in the cage.
Oh yeah, and he poured it out there to basically go, "Fuck you, you're not getting it."
The White Walker started to come or whatever. The winter started coming. The wind started blowing up, and the water that he just poured on the ground froze right away.
Oh, okay.
And he ran. And that's when they cut.
Okay, see, I must have been dozing during that part last night because I don't remember that. I don't remember it freezing. I didn't know that was like a sign of the White Walkers coming kind of thing.
Yeah, when the wind picks up and shit freezes right away, that's when they're coming.
Okay, so they bring all that weather with them.
Right.
That's why winter's coming.
Winter's coming.
Let's see. So he puts the baby out there. Bran then goes into...
Well, they hear the baby screaming, so they're apparently close to Craster's Keep.
Yeah, that was like, holy fuck, they're by somebody. Holy shit.
Right, they're close.
It's been forever since they've interacted with people.
We have a fucking location for Bran and them, right?
He's
well, anyway, so they're
wall.
like, a little north of the wall. I think it was said 60 miles north of the wall is where Craster's Keep is.
Okay.
So they're 60 miles north of the wall.
How did they get past Jon Snow? I can't remember. Sorry,
Jon
total
Snow
sidetrack.
wasn't with them, and Sam helped them get past the wall.
Okay.
In the end of season 3.
Oh, Jon Snow was with the Wildlings.
He was with the Wildlings, and he ended up at Castle Black at the end of season 3.
Okay.
Remember, he rode in on the horse half dead. And
after they had already gone through or whatever. After Sam had already...
Sam had already let him through the secret tunnel or whatever it was.
Okay. So he falls in that trap, and then
when he's inside Summer, his wolf, he falls inside of some sort of trap. We didn't really get to see what happened to Summer, but he realizes that they have ghosts.
Yeah, he saw ghosts, so he put 2 and 2 together.
Jon Snow must be here.
Yeah.
Cuts to them watching the keep. Or does
Yeah. They're investigating Craster's then.
They're on the outside of it, kind of watching.
And then they get caught. They get surrounded. And
she sees right away. Mira. She kind of looks around and she's like, "They might have been Night's Watchmen once, but they're not anymore." Because she sees what's happening. Yeah. She sees them raping women and how they're treating everybody. She's like,
yeah. So those are the leftovers from
they're mutineers.
Yeah,
they're mutineers of Craster's Keep. They killed Craster and took over his daughters and his food and his wine.
Yeah, and then it was like, fuck them till they're dead.
Fuck them till they're dead. That was back in Cena Go, but
that's great.
It was,
But after he dumps the kid, we go to the White Walkers, and we see a White Walker riding a frozen-ass dead horse, don't we?
Well, no, that's what they capture Bran.
Yeah.
Then they have Hodor.
Oh, yeah, and Hodor gets stabbed or whatever.
They stab him. That made me a little sick to my stomach. I didn't like that.
Well, yeah, you're beating up on a fucking retard, basically. I mean, he's obviously slow.
Right. And, come on.
You can only say one fucking word.
They got Bran in the tent with the other two interrogating him.
Yeah.
And you ask him basically, "Who are you? You look highborn because of the clothes you're wearing."
And then they threaten somebody to the point where he says, "I'm Brandon."
Well, he was going to I think he was going to threaten him, but the other kid had one of his seizures.
Oh yeah,
and she jumped up to help him, but he grabbed the chick and was going to cut her throat. And he said who he was right away.
So then they knew, we can't fuck with this.
We can't kill this kid. He's a valuable hostage.
Exactly.
So that's when it cuts to.
Is that when we go to the horse?
I think that's when we go to the White Walkers. Is shortly after that.
So we go to the White Walker on the horse, and it's interesting to me
I have
because
been informed that this scene that you were talking about right now is not from the book.
Yes, I have heard that as well. Yeah, that people, they were saying, I was reading a review on it today, and people were saying that the ending surprised book people because that's not in the book. And it was like, okay, cool. So
we like keeping them on their toes.
We see the White Walker on the horse, the dead horse, and it's interesting because you almost feel like you're getting to walk into their life for a minute. Like
inside the White Walker's world a little bit. See, I think what we're looking at there, like the little look like a castle or whatever location that he was walking up to in that scene.
Yeah.
Then we're looking at the land of always winter.
Yeah, somewhere where they live.
Right.
Yeah.
They're wherever they come from.
Okay. So I don't think we're going to get a whole lot about that anytime soon.
Dude, come on. The stuff from the White Walkers has been very few and far between.
It has. But that was really, it was interesting.
I'm not asking for more. I say they should keep the same pace with the White Walkers.
I agree. That was exactly what I was building to, basically.
I'm sorry.
No. That's what I'm saying is I feel like if we know for once, I don't want to know too much more because I feel like it could become mundane really quick. Like
they wouldn't be the big mysterious enemy.
Yeah.
Then if we knew everything about them.
Well, that's going to turn me into a prediction.
But even if the other people don't know what we know, it could still become mundane. Like even if the characters on the show don't know the information that we know, we don't want to. I don't want to know too much about them. I like the fact that they showed him at once in the beginning of season 1, and then we didn't see him again until the end of season 2.
Yeah,
it was great. And now they're maybe picking up the pace a little bit with showing us White Walker stuff. But
so he goes into this he goes into this big ass thing with the baby. And then he gives him off to some other creature. I mean, it was a White Walker, clearly, but not like an old one. It was like a young White Walker. They handed him off to the dude that looked like a monster more in the face. Like the pointy ears, I feel like.
I didn't really...
Because they showed it from the baby's point of view looking
up. At the fact that he looked younger.
It was different.
That, but he did look different. But maybe he was younger because his face wasn't all like...
Correct. He wasn't all... So he puts the baby, or he gives the baby to that guy. The guy puts the baby, he puts it down, and then the guy picks the baby up, and then touches his face, and then the baby's eye turns White Walker. Basically, he turned the baby into a White Walker.
Basically, is what I took from that scene as well. But really cool camera shot from under the ice. From when he set the baby on that pedestal thing, and then walked up and you saw him kind of through the ice. The baby, that was pretty badass, dude. I thought that was an awesome camera shot.
Yes, very cool.
I think that scene like I was taking a hard swallow a little bit because I thought maybe it was going to turn out a little worse than it did.
What, kill the
like
baby?
I thought we were going to see a knife go in the air or something like that. And, I mean, like, that doesn't bother me. Like, maybe not watch the show or anything like that. But I was like, oh, man, they're going to... Nobody likes to see that shit. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just insinuated on screen.
Yeah.
It still makes you uncomfortable. But I like...
Well, it opened up a whole bunch of possibilities now.
With the outcome, I love the outcome where he touched his face and turned him into a White Walker. That was fucking cool.
Yeah, so to me, that means they're building their army with casters.
Yeah, but see, if you think about, like you said, it just opened up a whole world of possibilities because it could be the people from Casters, and think of how many of those like kinds of situations. Like him giving them their babies that they might have set up with other wildling tribes and stuff like that. Because the wildlings do believe in those gods.
Oh, so they could have been getting
They could be getting sacrificed sons from all kinds of different wildling tribes. So who knows? Their army could be huge by now. It's pretty cool to think about, and I like the fact that they delve into a place that hadn't been gone to
in the books.
Is that right? Was that a proper sentence?
Just a place that hadn't
been seen yet or been gone.
Territory unexplored, as it were.
That wasn't unexplored in the book. I really, really like that.
Yeah.
And I hope this show fucking passes up this fucking guy my buddy Robert that I work with, because he read the books too far ahead, and that's all he talks about when we talk about the show now. I wish he would
not know anything more than you did.
Yeah. Right.
Well, that's where the show ended. It went to black on turning the baby's eyes blue.
Right.
They were pretty blue.
Well, and the little black spot on his face, like exactly where he touched him, like you saw that little spot turn on his face turn black, and then his eyes turn blue, like just the whole inside.
It was fucking cool.
It was pretty cool looking.
Yeah. So, that's basically the episode.
Do you think the actual kid, like in real life, was just forever scarred by that moment?
No.
Like the baby actor? Like
No, because the baby would have only, it would have been a normal person, and it would have been one finger that was covered in something.
When they shot
the baby,
just the makeup on the hand.
It would have just been the makeup on the hand and probably the mommy. You know what I mean? Doing it.
I see.
And just put that finger in whatever you saw. Yeah.
So
but then the other shot was up, like from the baby's point of view.
I like how they
you
did
never
that,
saw
too.
the baby
you
in
think
its
about,
arms.
Like how you see that real narrow like tone when he's got him in his arms and he's riding. He looks up and he kind of looks.
Oh,
down
you
at
see
him.
it through the
baby's
blanket,
point of view.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the blankets in his face, and it's just like a real like.
But to me, that's why they shot it like that, is so that you didn't have to, so that the baby literally never had to be in one of these monsters' arms while filming.
Right.
That's why it was shot the way it was. So you never had to shoot it like I'm looking at you.
Carrying the baby.
Yes, exactly.
Scared the shit out of it.
Exactly.
I see now that I think more about the scene. You're right. The baby was like, besides when he was carrying it was like wrapped in cloth. You couldn't really see it.
It probably wasn't it definitely wasn't the real baby. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Okay.
I'm glad you broke that down for me.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, man, they got these like monsters staring over this poor kid. Like, what the hell, you know?
Predictions.
Wait. I want to
touch
back. I want to touch back on one of our predictions from last week.
Okay, go on.
I don't know who it was, either me or you. We talked about the kid from the village going into the Night's Watch, who has made another appearance now. Remember the kid? He was laying under the wagon and got dragged out by the guy.
Kid that's going to come back and kill Egret at some point.
Yes.
Okay. He joined the Night's Watch.
Yeah, he was standing there. He was.
Oh, well, then that's easy. He's just going to kill her at the Night's Watch when they come to attack.
That's what I'm saying. Like, well, I mean, but still, like,
right in front of Jon Snow.
It still could come. It still could come to fruition.
Yeah, it's going to.
You know what I'm saying? Or you know what? Her and Jon Snow will be fighting.
No, her and Jon Snow are going to be made up, and he's going to fucking kill her.
That's even better,
right?
Kill her in her sleep or something like that. Well, yeah, who knows? We'll see. But yes,
yeah,
agreed. But yeah, he's like
they're going to have made up minutes before you watch. When it actually comes around to it, Jon Snow and Egret are going to have made up somehow, and then
one of them is going to have chosen a side.
A few minutes later, she's dead. That dude's going to kill her.
She's definitely getting it, I think.
Yeah,
I think they're building to that. But yeah, the kid. I think you're right. I think it is going to be the kid that gets her. I think it was one of our predictions.
Yes, definitely.
That the kid that was going to get her. And
that I don't care if we don't see that kid for years.
Yeah, we said that. That was what we said. But now he's been in both episodes now, and he's appeared in all the Castle Black stuff. Oh, and here's my prediction for the week.
Okay.
It's going to be. I think it's going to happen next week in next week's episode because that Locke volunteered with John
Okay.
which is a scene we didn't discuss.
I don't know.
We didn't go over that, but that was a cool scene where he asked for the volunteers for the brothers, and all those guys stood up for him.
Okay.
For Jon Snow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
to go
about?
with him
to go with him to Craster's Keep.
Yeah.
Well, then Locke stood up with him, and he's going to make an attempt on John Locke's life.
Jon Snow's life.
Am I making easy predictions? That's an easy prediction.
Jon Snow's life. You said John Locke.
Jon Snow and Locke.
Yeah, you said he's going to make
Locke is going to make an attempt on Jon Snow's life.
Yeah.
At Craster's Keep.
Okay.
Either that, or he'll be.
Or he's going to try to suck up to him and be loyal and then kill him later.
Be turned.
Wait, he's going to wait? Here you go. I'm going to add to your prediction. He is going to wait until he's going to help Jon Snow get promoted and take over, and then he's going to kill him. Or
try to kill him.
Yes, exactly. Try. I don't think he will.
I don't think Jon Snow. I think Jon Snow's one of your.
I think he's one of the almost untouchables.
Almost untouchables on the show.
Yeah.
Like he's.
I don't want to say it because then fucking George R.R. Martin will get a hard on for killing him.
Right. He's the last Stark man.
Yeah. Well, Bran.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I mean the last.
He's not a man. He's missing.
He's a half man.
But there is another young one.
I guess you're right. I'm wrong.
I always forget about
Rickon,
that one.
There's Rickon Stark, but I'm talking about as far as like male protagonists go.
Yeah.
Jon Snow's the last Stark.
Uh-huh.
You know, the one that can do anything about what's happening right now.
Well, I have two predictions, and one is short term and one is long term. The short term one being that Dantos will be discovered with the poison necklace to clear Littlefinger.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, because he threw that necklace down onto him in the boat, and he's just going to be found dead in the boat with the poison.
Right.
And that's just going to happen. That's going to clear Ooh, that's definitely going to clear Tyrion. But it won't clear Tyrion in her mind.
I still stand by my prediction of what's going to happen with Prince Oberyn.
Oh, that
I still
he's going
think
to take up for him.
Tyrion's thing's going to come down to a trial by combat.
Yeah, and he's going to end up stepping in and
somebody's going to step in for him. Jaime, Bran, or Oberyn.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Oberyn because he's going to want a shot at the mountain.
Okay, and then my last prediction is that eventually down the line, when we do find out about the White Walkers, I think there's going to be a twist with the White Walkers, and they will be somehow linked to humans, and they're going to have been a fork in the evolutionary road, where something happened a while back, and because they're able to just turn humans into White Walkers now, with the babies.
Well, they turn babies, and the other humans, the dead people, they bring them to zombies. They turn them.
But
to
I
zombies.
mean, I think the original White Walkers are going to just be an evolutionary split from humans at the time. There's going to be something that's.
See, there's no science here like that, though.
Well, I just mean they're going to have been human to start with. The original White Walkers are going to have been human, and something's going to have turned them into that.
So you think we're going to find out the origin?
Eventually, and that they're going to be closer linked to us or to them than we think.
To the humans.
Yeah, like they're made to be this mystical being, and I have a feeling that something's going to have put them there, as opposed to them choosing to be there.
Some sort of magic or curse.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Something like that.
Maybe they are the actual first men.
Yes. That's not bad.
And maybe that the
that
children.
That puts it exactly what I was saying, but just not in that grade of phrasing.
The children of forest, like the children of the forest, like the whole them teaming up with the first men or whatever, the Angals to defeat the White Walkers. It's just how they just kind of, or how they, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that eventually we're going to find out that the White Walkers didn't start off so different than us. And again, I say us meaning the other humans.
So you just totally. But there has to be some sort of magic involved, though.
Yes, there's got to be some sort of a curse or magic that put them there. Or, I mean, even like the light lady, or you know what I mean, the Lord of the Light or whatever. You know, one of those things.
See, I think there's your two.
But I don't think they're bad. Also, I'm going to throw that out there. I don't think they're evil.
They raise people from the dead.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
To zombies and.
But we don't know their motivation. Like, I know it sounds stupid to say, and it's like probably very far fetched.
Everything destruction, everything dead. Winter.
But there might be much like I'm trying to think of something where somebody did some evil shit, but they had great motivation. Originally it was raw. I mean, it was real. They came from a good place.
Like if your daughter gets killed or something like that, and then you have to avenge her, but eventually it overtakes you and you become something you weren't to begin with. And like, I feel like there's going to be something in their
sort
past.
Of kind of a sad story behind why they are what they are.
Exactly.
I won't.
I don't think they're just going to be horrible
completely.
Monsters. I think they're going. I think they've been made into what they are. I think that's what my prediction is. I mean, and I guess we know they have. That's kind of easy because of the baby was literally made into what they are. But I don't think it's going to be that simple. I think they're going to have to tell us where the White Walkers originated, even if it was at the beginning of time. You know what I mean? Just that they just were. Even if they just say that and dismiss my theory altogether, I feel like when we learn about them, it's going to be not what we thought at all, and it's going to be, oh, these were good people, or, you know what I mean? I just feel a twist coming. That's all. I feel like they're not going to just be these heartless monsters, or weren't always.
That's not bad. That's not bad, and I mean, that would be an interesting twist rather than just having them be.
Yeah, because then everybody's got their motivation. I mean, maybe not Joffrey,
but see, what I think it's going to come down. Go ahead.
Everybody else has their motivations.
What I think it's going to come down to is I think they're servants of a deity.
Okay.
Whatever that might be, and it's the ice deity, or the dark deity, the bad deity, the devil, however you want to put it, and then the Lord of Light is the fire deity.
Yeah, I was just going to say, where does fire and ice? Yeah.
Of fire and ice.
Yeah. Well, so what? Then it's just going to come down to those two fighting each other?
Not necessarily in that fashion, but using all the other people.
I mean, fire and ice do kind of cancel each other out.
I'm talking about like the White Walkers versus Daenerys unites the Seven Kingdoms against the winter.
Yeah.
It's for them all to fight together against the White Walkers. But
then they would have to use the Lord of Light and the dragons, basically. So
right.
I mean that could be a good where it's going.
Final battle between.
I just don't know if a final battle is going to be that rewarding. I love the characters in this show.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
I don't see.
I don't want to see a big Lord of the Rings battle at the end of it, and that's it. But
yeah, and then they're all like, "Okay, let's hug for a half hour."
But I still think there still has to be. It's looming.
It's absolutely looming. It's big
threat.
Happen. I just for some reason I get that vibe that we're gonna find out more about these things, and they're not gonna be the fucking heartless killers that we think.
If the scene at the end of this episode indicates anything, it's exactly what you're talking about. That there's more to them.
Yeah.
Than just heartless monsters.
Yeah, maybe it's not that good of a prediction in retrospect. It's kind of easy.
Well, so are mine, but yeah, I mean.
Whatever. See you guys next week. Fuck off. If you want to listen to us, check it out on comeuppance.com or on iTunes under the Comeuppance Network. You can just search Joel Henderson.
Oh, are we going to do favorite lines before we end the show or what?
That's what we'll end. I'm just kind of doing a bit of admin here. I always forget to mention, if you're listening to this and you ever shop on Amazon.com, go to comeuppance.com. It's right, if you're on the live page watching this, right underneath the video, it shows the Amazon banner. If you click that, we get 4% when you buy shit, and you don't have to pay any extra. Just please click through there and buy some stuff from Amazon, because then we can keep doing this for free. That's all. Okay. Follow me on Twitter at Comeuppance, Facebook /Comeuppance. He's not on Facebook or Twitter. Well, he's on Twitter, but I don't think he uses it.
Yeah, even if I gave it to you, I wouldn't be looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so favorite lines. Do you have a favorite line to end on? Hold on,
I think mine was the exchange. Mine was the exchange between Jamie and Bronn.
Okay.
And he said that. What was that? That was me knocking you to the dirt with your own hand.
It's funny that you said that, because I thought you were just going to take my line. My line comes from the same scene, and it's, do you think he killed him? And he's like, no. He hated the little twat, but who didn't?
But both great lines.
See you next week, guys.
Yep, see you next week.